We are going to make this scrunchie crown. I'm so excited about this crown. I think it is super fun to wear, and I think, you know, it's a little extra, but so am I. So that's what makes it perfect, right? For the crown, all you need is one of the top headband piece cut on the fold. You need a bottom headband piece cut in the fold, and you need 2 pieces of 3/4 inch elastic, and then a couple of pins and clips to help you along the way. So we're just going to grab our main fabric piece, and of course I'm not completely in the frame here, so I apologize, but you're going to be folding it with right sides together along the entire long raw edges. So we are going to match up all the edges here. If I can fold properly. And then we're gonna sew along the entire straight edge. I like to use a sewing machine for this pattern, but you can use, obviously if you have a stretch stitch or a stretch knit, you can use a serger. For me, I don't know why, but I just really like using a straight stitch for this one. We are going to be turning this right side out, and I just need to introduce you to one of my favorite tools that I've ever had for sewing. It's called the large easy point and turner. It's by Suki Sews. She is a sewist online. She does a lot with Bernina. She makes her own sewing tools. I came across her recently, and she was gracious and sent me this, which is an upgraded version of one that I already have, and it's just simply amazing. So just as easy as it can be. You can obviously use any turning method you want, but if you want to feel like you're cheating the system, you just pinch it here and slide it. And with very little effort, we've turned it completely right side up. So we have a tube now, and we're going to be taking an elastic and running it through it. I honestly like to line up my elastics, my seam to be in the center. For me, it's a little bit easier, so I would recommend you doing that as well, and that way it kind of keeps everything aligned a little bit better. So you'll just grab your elastic, and another tool that I absolutely love using is, it's so simple. It's just this bodkin, and it's got a little knob on it, and it slides. And it's what I use for all of my elastic threading, and it just makes my life so much easier. So you just clip it on there, and then making sure that you're not turning your fabric or your elastic, you start feeding it through. Now, I like to kind of just get it started and then add a clip right here. And we're just gonna end up basting it to the raw edges to keep our elastic all in place. So clip that there, and then feed the rest of the way through. Again, just making sure I just go along that whole seam and pull it out. And we'll add another clip, and then we are going to put a basting stitch on both ends just to keep our elastic in place. All right, we can set that aside for right now. We're going to grab our bottom piece right here. We're going to do pretty much the same exact steps. So fold it right sides together with the long raw edges meeting each other, and we're going to run a 1/2 inch seam allowance stitch right along that edge. And here we go again. We're just going to turn it right side out. So using my nifty tool, we're going to do it real quickly here. Oh, and of course I'm trying to show you how to do something, and I lose my grip. Oh my goodness, there we go. Velvet is a little trickier sometimes. Okay, so we've got our right side out, and we're gonna take our bodkin and our shorter bottom elastic. We're gonna do exactly what we did with the other one. See that my seam, I don't know if you can tell in the video, you can a little bit. That's what I use as my guide. So I just thread the elastic through until I get it to the end here. A little bit more. And then I give myself a little more room. There we go. And then I add a clip because we're gonna base that right there. And then I just slip it right through to the other side. Hold it in place. There's my end. And I'm going to clip it, and then we're gonna run a basting stitch on both ends. And now we're pretty much at the final step. It's kind of wild, right? It's a very quick pattern to sew. So you're going to want to figure out what the right side of your fabric is. For me, the right side is considered, you know, the plain side. The wrong side is where the seam falls, and that's true on both pieces here. So you're gonna wanna put right sides together, and you're gonna align along your, the centers of both sides, basically where you have your elastics. So you can kind of scrunch the fabric and get it out of the way if you want. This is the right side up. Here's the right side, and we're gonna face it down. We're gonna center it to have both elastics meeting, and then we're going to fold the upper part in and kind of sandwich everything together. So right now you're gonna have 2 pieces of elastic, several pieces of fabric, and we're gonna sew at 1/2 inch seam allowance right there. So the last thing you're gonna wanna do is, I like to trim away some of the seam allowance so it's not as bulky. So I just grab my sharp scissors and I cut as close to that stitch that I just created as I can on both sides. And you don't even need to finish these edges because they get tucked away as soon as you pull this to have the right sides facing out. See how this kind of folds like it envelopes over that seam? And that's on the inside also. So when you wear it, this is all tucked in and all the seams are ready to go, and your headband is completely finished and ready to wear. Isn't it cute? I'm so excited to see what you think of this pattern. I think it's such a fun extra like flair to wear, especially during the holiday season with like these velvets or like a embroidered lace. I can imagine it'd be gorgeous. Thanks. Happy holidays.